So, I must ask again, what is the UN good for if it could not save the lives of the 62,000 dead in Gaza? If it could not stop the 160,000 people from getting wounded? If it could not stop 80% of all commercial facilities and all the homes in Gaza from getting destroyed? What is the UN good for if it cannot stop this? If one nation can hijack world peace, what is the UN good for? Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Fuzail Ali and I am the school vice captain of this school and of the student council. And today I am here to present my keynote speech on the topic Showing the Mirror, Pure Facts, No Rhetoric, No Emotions. So last year in this very hall, in this very event, in the first and only keynote speech that Dr. Mansoor Durrani, chairman, has ever delivered for this EPS MUN, he stated a fact that was difficult to hear but impossible to deny. He stated that the UN was created not for the people of the world but for the winners of the Second World War to rule the world. He reminded us that the structure of the UN is designed to essentially sustain a balance between an illusion of freedom and the reality of captivity. If the people believed that they were enslaved openly, they would revolt. And if they were too free, the P5 nations would lose their authority. So it essentially sustains an illusion, the mirage, the manufactured mirage of a world order based on liberty and justice. The 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, they maintain a complete chokehold on the functioning of the UN. Why? To protect their own interests. The veto power is not a tool for peace. It is a shield for the allies of the P5 nations and it is a weapon against the enemies of the P5 nations. They decide where to intervene, where to remain silent and whose sufferings matter. Okay, so now Dr. Durrani's well-researched speech and fact-based speech was taken a little bit harsh at first, but the events of the past 12 months, the genocide, the wars, the silence and the vetoes have proved every single word correct. So, starting with the Ukraine conflict, we know that one of the P5 members, Russia, is directly involved in invading Ukraine. And another P5 nation, China, is fully supporting them, while the other P5 nations remain on the other side. On February 25, 2022, there was an emergency meeting held because of the invasion of Ukraine. In that meeting, every single member present voted in favor of the resolution against Russia. But what happened? Even though every single member voted in favor of the resolution, Russia just ended up vetoing it. So what's the point of the UN? What is the UN good for? If on September 30, 2022, Russia annexed Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia, again, what happened? There were 0 votes against the resolution and Russia vetoed it again. So in the UN, where every other member supports a resolution against Russia, Russia can just veto it. One single P5 nation has the power to hijack not just regional stability but perhaps world peace. So I must ask, what is the UN good for if it cannot stop this? What is it good for? Okay, now moving on to the Gaza genocide, the world's first televised genocide, and another genocide under the watch of the UN, where the UN does nothing. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is wanted by the ICC for crimes against humanity. and Israel is openly receiving political, financial, and diplomatic aid from the US and the two other P5 nations. The total aid in Gaza that was received is valued at around $3 billion to the Gaza people. And what about the US? It gave $20 billion of direct military aid to Israel. A statistic that is not provided by some other news source like Al Jazeera, it is provided by the Times of Israel, a media outlet owned by an American billionaire. So, I must ask again, what is the UN good for if it could not save the lives of the 62,000 dead in Gaza? If it could not stop the 160,000 people from getting wounded? If it could not stop 80% of all commercial facilities and all the homes in Gaza from getting destroyed? What is the UN good for? If it cannot stop this, if one nation can hijack world peace, what is the UN good for? There have been 147 clinics destroyed in Gaza. 697. Think of that number, 697 major attacks on hospitals. And only 12 hospitals remain now. Only 2,000 beds for a population of 2 million. 2 million people and 2,000 beds. So what is the UN good for? If it cannot save the hospitals managed by its own organizations, what is the UN good for? And we know in USA bombed is Iran's nuclear reactors, directly violating the IAEA law. A law, by the way, which was written by the P5 members. The world ignored one of the biggest environmental threats of our time. So I must ask again, what is the UN good for? Any radiation leak that would have happened could have resulted in the biggest environmental disaster of our time. It could have wiped out 1/3 of the world population that was living in close proximity to Iran. So I must ask again, if an environmental disaster as serious and as important as a nuclear disaster can be ignored by the UN and by the P5 nations, what is the UN good for? What good does it do to the world? The UN peacekeeping forces in Bosnia in 1995 massacred 7,000 people. 7,000 people. They were there and they did not do anything. And you know what they did? They tried to destroy the evidence of the UN, of the human rights violations that happened in that village. So not only did they not keep peace, they actively destroyed it. In Central Africa, it was even worse. The UN peacekeeping troops were accused of raping and murdering the civilians there. So the peacekeeping forces are the ones doing crimes. And the UN Secretary General very hypocritically said that peacekeeping operations do not have the appropriate reach, manpower, or capabilities to stop mass atrocities. So where is the $5 billion budget going for the UN peacekeeping forces? Perhaps the harsh reality is that it is not a shortage of money. The money is there, but perhaps the will for peace is not. The ICJ and the ICC, both set up by the UN, sanctioned by the USA, threatened to bomb. And you know why they didn't bomb yet? They did not bomb yet because, as I said, they have to keep the mirage. They have to keep the people believing in a rule of law and liberty. So I must ask again, if a court cannot function without threats, what is the UN good for? If an international law written by P5 that issued the arrest warrant of Benjamin Netanyahu is ignored by the P5, if he is still roaming around, then what good is the UN for? There has been a genocide. He is a war criminal and he is not arrested. What is the UN good for? What has it done? in the Human Rights Council. The human rights violations have been inside the very city that UN is headquartered in. Zohran Mamdani, a very famous New York legislator and US citizen, is facing the threats to revoke his citizenship and threats on his own personal existence. Why? Because he stood in compliance with the UN Charter, because he stood with the immigrants of the US. So US, a P5 nation, the main P5 nation, is punishing its own citizens for upholding international law. So what is the UN good for? When in the hometown of the UN, when in their own backyard, a New York City, even a legislator does not have rights. What is the UN good for? So, a World Health Organization which cannot stop hospitals from getting destroyed. A peacekeeping force that not just repeatedly fails to keep peace but actively destroys it. An environmental program that ignored one of the biggest environmental threats of our time. A Security Council where one single vote could hijack world peace. A court which is sanctioned and threatened to be bombed and not able to function properly. A Human Rights Council where in their own backyard citizens' rights are not safe. So I must ask, what is the UN good for? What is it good for? What is the UN good for? That is the mirror. That is the mirror. Pure facts, no rhetoric, no emotions. EPS is an extraordinary school. Therefore, the EPS MUN that is happening today must also be extraordinary. So, over the next 2 days, the various UN committees will be openly discussing, deliberating, and challenging the true value of UN and on the current geopolitical environment. So, I wish you guys all the best. Thank you.